evening. Welcome to our regular September 15th, 7 p.m. legislative session. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Michael Yerdon.
Present.
Herbert Yerdon.
Present.
Edward Gilson.
Here.
David Holmes has been marked excused. Roy Reedhill.
Here.
John Martino.
Here.
Frank Lombardo has been marked excused. Paul House.
Here.
James Weatherup.
Here.
Mary Ellen Chesbrough.
Here.
Linda Lockwood's been marked excused. Richard Klein.
Present.
Patrick Twist has been marked excused. Stephen Walpole.
Here.
Nathan Emmons.
Here.
James Scanlon.
Here.
Lauren Magano.
Here.
Robert Wilmot.
Here.
Marie Shaw.
Here.
Tim Stahl.
Here.
Noel Samuelson.
Here.
James Karasik.
Here.
Michael Soloway.
Here.
Mark Greco.
Here.
Frank Castilia.
What message?
Mr. Chairman, that's 19 present, 4 excused. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Would the clerk please now lead us in the invocation?
Let us be thankful for this opportunity to serve our community. Help us to be kind to one another and as we confront difficult decisions. Make strong in our hearts that which unites us. Build bridges across all that divide us. And be thankful for the chance to make the difference in the lives of our loved ones and the citizens of Oswego County. Amen.
Now the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We had a chance to look at the minutes from the county legend meeting on August 11th and also August 25th. Second. Motion in a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. At this point, I would like to offer up a proclamation for the National Preparedness Month. Renee Fox and the Public Safety Committee could come forward.
Rose between two thorns. Give your proclamation.
Oh, you want to
No, just to hold it.
Oh, just the whole, we can't read
There.
it.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And the second. 1, 2, 3. Got it. Thank you.
Okay, National Preparedness Month. Whereas National Preparedness Month, occurring annually in September, creates an ideal opportunity for every resident of Oswego County to join citizens across the United States in preparing their homes, businesses, and communities for any type of emergency, including natural disasters and potential terrorist attacks. And whereas Oswego County residents have experienced emergencies and disasters caused by public health emergencies, floods, severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, high winds, and severe storms. Whereas the 2022 theme of National Preparedness Month is a lasting legacy. The life you built is worth protecting. Prepare for disasters to create a lasting legacy for you and your family. And whereas planning now before an emergency or disaster strikes is the best way to improve community recovery from disasters. And whereas when individuals take responsibility for preparing their families and their communities, the chance of survival and return to normalcy following a disaster is greatly increased. And whereas the Oswego County Emergency Management Office partners with federal, state, local, private, volunteer agencies to educate individuals on local hazards and how to prepare for them, and has partnered with the National Weather Service to become a storm-ready community, weather-ready ambassador. And whereas the Oswego County Emergency Management Offices encourages citizens to make plans with and for their family members for disasters and emergencies, and to make their homes more resilient to natural hazards. Now, therefore, Chairman Weatherup, myself, and the rest of the legislature Oswego County Legislature, on behalf of the entire legislature, do hereby declare September 2022 as National Preparedness Month in the County of Oswego, and urge all government agencies, private organizations, and people and businesses in Oswego County to develop their own emergency preparedness plan and work together toward creating a stronger, more resilient community. May 5.
Thank you.
And they go all the way.
Prepare your plan today. Ready.gov has lots of materials that are available to you. You do not have to recreate the wheel. There's lots of great stuff out there. And the more prepared we are as individuals, the stronger we are as a community. So take this time, September, look at your plans or create your own plan. If you need any help, call the Emergency Management Office. We'd be happy to give you some guidance. Thank you.
Thank you. We now have a proclamation coming for Super Dirt Week. For some reference, we do this once every year, and I hope we continue to do it for many years to come. Super Dirt Week is not only a great racing event, but also provides a significant boost to the local economy, drawing in thousands of visitors each year. I'd like to thank Dirt Car Racing, the Oswego Speedway, and all the county and city officials who made the event possible. I'd also like to add that I still have my driver's suit and helmet, which is in this car. But would the EDP committee, Dan Breitwig and Jeff Hockman, please come forward for the Super Dirt Week proclamation.
Unless it's there.
Everybody switching All right. On the count of 3. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And a second. 1, 2, 3. Got it. Thank you very much.
He wanted to be part of the picture.
I know. I asked if you wanted to go up.
All right. Okay, Oswego County Legislature designated October 2nd, 2022 to October 9th, 2022 as Super Dirt Week. Whereas the week of October 2nd through 9th will mark the 50th year of Super Dirt Week in Central New York. And organizers and local officials will be celebrating the 6th running of this event in Oswego County. And Oswego Speedway's renowned Steel Palace will host the main events with qualifying events held at other dirt tracks in Oswego County and Central New York. And over the course of the week, nearly 35,000 fans and hundreds of competitors will gather in Oswego County to participate in this event. And fan sponsors and participants generate an estimated economic impact of more than $12 million from the various activities associated with Super Dirt Week. And fans and residents are encouraged to wear racing attire on Wednesday, October 5th, and to the parade at noon, celebrating Dirt Car Racing Day in the city and county of Oswego. So therefore, be it resolved that Jim Weatherup, Chair of the Legislature, in concert with the rest of the colleagues throughout Oswego County, do hereby proclaim the week of October 2nd through the 9th as Super Dirt Week in Oswego County, New York. And that together we welcome our Super Dirt Week visitors and urge our residents to join in the excitement of dirt car racing and the festivities that Super Dirt Week brings to our communities.
I just want to thank everybody for the support. This is awesome. 50th year is going to be amazing here in Oswego because of the support, and not just from the people in this room or the people in the city, but the fans and the local residents. We put together 3 incredible programs leading up to the 2 big days, Saturday and Sunday. On Wednesday, it's free in the front stretch of the grandstands to watch practice. And on Thursday and Friday, for anybody who's an Oswego County resident, it's buy one, get one free on adults, and kids 12 and under are free. So a family of 4 with 2 kids under 12 can go to the races for $25 and see fireworks, get autographs from drivers, all kinds of stuff. So that's not because we just do it. It's because of all the support from everybody the last 5 years now and many years to come. So thank you, everyone. We appreciate it. We're looking forward to it.
way up here to... All right, at this point, I'd like to bring to your attention the Bellinger Family Racing Legacy Recognition. I'd like to thank the Bellinger family, and please join the committee for the Bellinger Family Racing Legacy Recognition.
Right up here.
The Bellinger family for 3 generations of racing excellence and champions. Whereas auto racing is an important part of the culture, history, and economy of Oswego County and the United States. Whereas the Oswego Speedway, located at 300 East Albany Street, Oswego, is one of several tracks in the county and region that opened in 1951 and has hosted hundreds of events in its 7-decade history. Whereas the Oswego Speedway crowns a points champion each year, and Brandon Bellinger became the most recent points champion in August 22. Whereas Bellinger is the 3rd generation of the Bellinger family to be crowned points champion at Oswego Speedway, joining his father, 1988 super modified track champion Ed Bellinger Jr., and grandfather Ed Bellinger Sr., and a modified champion in 1957, 1959, and 1960. Whereas the Bellinger family has won more than 100 races, including some of the most prominent races at Oswego Speedway, and contributed to the local economy through a family-owned and operated business. Whereas this is a remarkable achievement deserving of recognition, and Oswego Speedway crowns a points champion each year. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, James Weatherup, Chairman of the Oswego County Legislature, on behalf of the Legislature and the people of Oswego County, do hereby recognize the racing legacy and contributions of the Bellinger family.
All right, everybody ready? On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. In a second, 1, 2, 3. Got it, thank you.
Thank you. The next proclamation is for Manufacturing Day, which manufacturing is a critical part of the local and national economy. And we're proud to support our current manufacturers who provide good paying jobs in our community, and to support our young folks who may be pursuing a career in manufacturing. So if the Infrastructure Committee and Brian Heffernan could come forward.
I see that. Today is the day proclaiming October 7th, 2022 as Manufacturing Day in Oswego County, whereas the need for a skilled workforce increases as the county of Oswego moves towards an increasingly technological future And whereas manufacturing accounts for approximately 8.5% of the United States workforce, and local manufacturers have job openings for skilled workers who will earn above average starting wages and want to fill those openings with local talent. And whereas manufacturing is big business and accounts for approximately 11.4% of national economic output. Taken alone, manufacturing in the United States would be in the 9th largest world economy. And whereas Manufacturing Day is nationally recognized, that takes place on the first Friday in October of each year, starting in 2012. This year will be observed on October 7th and focuses attention on the valuable role of local manufacturers, supporting local manufacturers, and inspiring the next generation of manufacturers. Whereas Oswego County P-TECH and Center for Instruction, Technology, and Innovation, career and technical education programs invite middle school and high school students from Oswego County, as well as those working with these students, to join and learn about what modern manufacturing is and what opportunities are available here in Oswego County on October 7, 2022, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the City BOCES campus. Now, therefore, I, James Weather, Chairman of the Oswego County Legislature, on behalf of the entire legislature, do hereby proclaim October 7th, 2022 as Manufacturing Day in Oswego County, and urge all Oswego County residents to join in an effort to support our local manufacturers, educate the next generation of students, and keep our families at home in Oswego County.
Yes. So that's okay. That's all right. So yes, I want to first thank the legislature for their continued support of manufacturing here in the county, as well as our career and technical pathways. I've been doing this for 7 years, focusing on students in Oswego County having a clear pathway towards the manufacturing field, and I can tell you that I am so very excited and optimistic about the relationships that are being built in this county to support students to do that. So I personally invite you all to come out and to this event, October 7th, 9 to 1. We have over 25 manufacturers from our region who are going to be there displaying all sorts of great innovative new technologies to inspire students. So I hope you can join us, and thank you again for your support.
On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. And a second. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any introduction to visitors? Thank you. Moving on now to public speakers on resolutions of the day. Mr.
Sure.
Thank you. Moving to resolutions and motions, Government Courts and Consumer Affairs, Resolution GC1 by Legislator Gilson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This resolution is authorizing an amendment to a previous resolution, number 130 of 2022. This is in relationship to the ARPA Act, the Rescue Act, the funds and the applications that have been made for this. On the original applications, we had, in many cases, individuals' names. We have amended the application and put forward this resolution to update those names to be the legal entities of those companies as they appear on their tax forms and W-9s.
Thank you. Any discussion? Legislator Castillo.
Mr. Chairman, fellow legislators, you can change the saddle on the horse, you can change the name of the horse, but it's the same horse. We were against this, I was against this the first time it came around, and I'm still going to be against it because it's lumped all together. There are items in there that we would vote in favor of, but there's items in there that we would vote against. And with them lumped together, I'm still going to be voting against this. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 19 in favor, 2 opposed, and 4 excused.
Thank you. For Resolution GC2, it's for past clerk George Williams. And I'd like to thank our county clerk, Terry Wilbur, for bringing this forward. George Williams was the Oswego County clerk for more than 20 years, and his dedication to public service and shaped the clerk's office and DMV into what they are today. He oversaw the modernization and improvement of the department, and we're pleased to be able to honor him and his contributions to our county. So now, Resolution GC2 by Legislator Gilson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer this resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution dedicating the Motor Vehicle Record Center building to Honorable George J. Williams.
I kind of stole your thunder by reading that first.
Yeah, well, many of us were fortunate to work with Mr. Williams, and this is just a nice way to recognize his dedication to the county.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Legislator Reno.
George was a larger-than-life figure in Constantia for a long time, and a nice man to work with, and I was able to work with his wife on several committees, so I think this is a very nice tribute.
Very good. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 21 in favor, 0 opposed, and 4 excused.
Thank you. Moving to GC3 by Legislator Gilson.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I offer this resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing authority to create a deputy county clerk of motor vehicles by the elected Oswego County clerk.
Yes, this resolution will authorize our county clerk, Mr. Wilbur, to appoint a deputy county clerk for the motor vehicle office and establish a salary.
Thank you. Any discussion? Legislator Castillo.
Mr. Chairman, when this was to be brought forward at government courts, I went to the meeting. The meeting was canceled because of lack of participation. I had some questions. I asked questions that day. I found out other information. On that day, I did mention that I believe that the savings is being misleading. And also, I've heard in the past from one of our fine legislators, Jack Proud, said that it's not our job to micromanage the departments. That's true, but it is our job to micromanage the taxpayers' money. And money spent should be spent on services, and any increase in manpower should be to increase services to the taxpayers, not middle management jobs that do not increase the production to the taxpayers. And for that reason, I will be not voting in favor of this.
Any other discussion? Legislator Emmons.
Mr. Chairman, I mean, I guess I would say that there's probably no other department or operation within our county more geared towards service to the public than our Department of Motor Vehicles. And as such, I think any changes that are made to increase the productivity and efficiency of our staff directly relates to the ability for that department to serve the members of our community. And I'd like to remind this legislature of the amount of actual money and income and revenue that department actually brings into our county. So I think I would tip my hat to our county clerk for increasing and continuing to refine and increase the productivity of that staff to bring it forward into the modern age. And I fully support this resolution.
Thank you. I would add that in an effort for everyone to know, we do have extended hours on Wednesday at the DMV. Just, for the public. But any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 20 in favor, 1 opposed, and 4 excused.
Thank you. Moving to Resolution GC4 by Legislator Gilson.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I offer this resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution establishing capital project number 0822 to develop and implement contract management system.
This system would work in conjunction with our new system to electronically keep track of all contracts and allow us to manage those renewals in a timely fashion.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 21 in favor, 0 opposed, and 4 excused.
Thank you. Resolution GC5 by Legislator Gilson.
Yes, I offer this resolution and urge its adoption as well.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing the chair of the legislature to enter into agreements with Discover eGov and AJ3 Solutions to develop and implement electronic contract management system.
Yeah, this gives you, the chair, the authorization from the legislature to enter into these contracts.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, this is 21 in favor, 0 opposed, and 4 excused.
Thank you. Resolution GC6 by Legislator Gilson.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I offer this resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution approving and confirming the sale and transfer of certain foreclosed tax property pursuant to RPTL 1166.
Yes, this resolution approves the sale of previously foreclosed properties to particular individuals that own them, whereas they were able to prove particularly illegal
discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 21 in favor, 0 opposed, and 4 excused.
Thank you. Resolution IT 7 by legislator Walpole.
Offer the following resolution, urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing budgetary modification, Department of Solid Waste, earth uniforms, clothing, and tools.
We're requesting the amount of $20,000 as they change contracts with their clothing vendor, and as you can imagine, it's a fairly dirty place.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 21 in favor, 0 opposed, and 4 excused.
Thank you. Resolution IT 8 by legislator Walpole.
Offer the following resolution and recommend its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution awarding professional services contract RFP 22-SW-016 Bristol Health quarterly reporting.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is the contract being awarded to Barton LaJudas in the amount of $18,700. It's the quarterly reporting as stated in the resolution.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 21 in favor, 0 opposed, and 4 excused.
Thank you. Resolution IT 9 by legislator Walpole.
Mr. Chairman, offer the following resolution and recommend its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution establishing capital project number T0322 for countywide video surveillance system.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is establishing the capital project, which has been ongoing, as we're all aware, for the last couple of years. Not only video surveillance, but it's tied in with our security upgrades and whatnot from many of the buildings. This is in the amount of $990,000.
Thank you. For clarity, this resolution establishes a capital project that will modernize and expand the county's video surveillance system. One of several ongoing efforts to keep county buildings safe, protect our employees and the residents who visit our facilities. It's an unfortunate reality that we must be prepared for potential threats, but this, along with other measures, will protect our county and provide law enforcement and first responders with better tools and information. Any other discussion? Legislator Castillo.
I'd just like to know if the camera's going to be utilized properly in the fact that are they going to be, because I know that the last time when we had an issue out there, the cameras were pointing at the ground, cameras pointing at the ceiling, and I just want to make sure that the camera is going to be pointing in the direction of, that we can see what's actually happening instead of saying, oh, that camera wasn't pointing in the right direction.
Yeah.
Okay, are we going to be monitoring these to make sure that they're in the right?
Yes, part of this was, it's been an ongoing thing, as you know. Over the years, there were different locations of cameras that aren't as feasible anymore, some of them in the top corners of the building. And I know Greg Collins gone through, and they've gone extensive, through everything, and this has addressed that issue.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 21 in favor, 0 opposed, and 4 excused.
Thank you. Moving to Finance and Personnel Committee, Resolution FP1 by Legislator Martino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have this resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing capital project closures and transfer of project balances.
This is to, as it states, closure of 2 capital projects. The LOB Portico project, $11,209.35, and the County Route 7 Bridge over Race Creek, $131,361.31 to go back into the general fund.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 21 in favor, 0 opposed, and 4 excused.
Thank you. Moving to Resolution FP2 by Legislator Martino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer this resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing budget modification, Sheriff's Office, to accept revenue from Altmar Parish Williamstown School District to fund SPO positions.
Exactly what it says. We're going to receive $29,536 to the Sheriff's Office to fund a special patrol officer for the Altamar Parish Williamstown School, which as of that, as far as I know, there's only one school district that does not have special patrol officers within the county.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 21 in favor, 0 opposed, and 4 excused.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Legislator Renner.
Mr. Chairman, make a motion to waive the rules of the legislature for the consideration of the following 3 resolutions, and these 3 resolutions only. DC-8 and PS-6 without having gone through committee, and HS-3T, which went through Human Services Committee and went through a special meeting of F&P prior to legislature today.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Second. Any discussion? All those?
No discussion, I mean, I was chastised when I brought things forward without going through committee, and me after going through committee with you. Sorry.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 20 in favor, 1 opposed, and 4 excused.
Thank you. Resolution GC-8 by Legislator Gilson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer this resolution and strongly urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution in opposition to New York State actions restricting Second Amendment rights.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman and fellow legislators. Another attack on our Second Amendment rights. Shortly after a Bruin opinion was handed down by the United States Supreme Court, our governor and her cohorts went to work to gut that legislation and our rights to carry and conceal a firearm. It's another sad day for encroachment upon our Second Amendment. I would urge this approval. This is a resolution where we state our opinion strongly against this, sending letters to the governor and to our Assemblyman Patty Rich's office. Certainly feel free to communicate with everybody that there's a judge in the Northern District, Judge Sudby, of the Northern District, that found this ruling to be unconstitutional. This was presented to be adopted on September 1st, on August 27th, only giving 4 days to react to this, which is, in some of this legislation and rules also show that the state isn't anywhere near ready for this. This is additional requirements of 16-hour classroom training, additional 2-hour live fire training, and this training is to be carried out by the Division of Criminal Justice. They have no certified instructors, won't have until July 23rd, and yet they put this into effect for September 1st. It's just another sad day of mandated restrictions put on us by our state.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Legislator Shaw.
I guess this is as sad as Roe v. Wade. When the Constitution was crafted, it had single ball muskets. The founding fathers knew that was not a perfect document. That is why amendments can be changed. Weapons have changed a lot. I am not against holding and owning and buying guns, but we have the most violent country right now in the world, and we've seen a tremendous amount of tragedy. And with that, I support this. I'm sorry. Too many children have been killed.
Thank you. Legislator Martino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is an attack on legal gun owners' rights. The Constitution says legal gun owner. I'm not talking about criminals. I'm not talking about the people who are out there toting the guns who shouldn't be. This is legal gun owners. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Legislator Rio.
Mr. Chairman, it's my understanding that this is really just not well thought out as part of the problem. So beside the constitutional issues, this would make it a felony just to be a reenactor with a fake muzzleloader at Fort Oswego. So they did not think this through. As a hunter with a camp in the Adirondacks, the Adirondack Park is 2.6 million acres. There's questions about whether or not that park allows certain types of firearms. They did not go through the proper communications with local sheriff's departments and law enforcement, nor any of the organizations like the NRA or other hunters associations to try to figure this out. It's a mess, and I support this resolution.
Legislator Castillo.
I'm trying to understand this now. Are we against everything that's in this, or are we against just certain parts of it? I mean, Legislator Gilson read off certain issues, but are we against every single letter of that law, or are we just against certain parts of it? I need to know what we're on. If we're all against everything, then that's not, it can't be the way it is, because there's always certain parts of the law that everybody agrees with, but there's certain parts of it that nobody agrees with.
Well, perhaps you can state the parts that you do agree with.
Well, no, you tell me what you're against. That's what I asked first.
I'm against the whole,
So you're against the whole ball of wax?
the whole thing, start to finish.
Okay, then I can't support it. I can't support this resolution.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Michael Yurden.
Yes.
Herbert Yurden.
Yes.
Ed Gilson.
Yes.
David Holst has been marked excused. Roy Rehel.
Yes.
John Martino.
Yes.
Frank Lombardo has been marked excused. Paul House.
Yes.
James Weatherup.
Yes.
Mary Ellen Chesbro.
Yes.
Linda Lockwood's been marked excused. Richard Klein.
Yes.
Patrick Twist has been marked excused. Stephen Walpole.
Yes.
Nathan Emmons.
Yes.
James Scanlon.
Yes.
Lori Magano.
Yes.
Robert Wilmot.
Yes.
Marie Schad.
No.
Tim Stahl.
Yes.
Noel Samuelson.
Yes.
James Karasik.
Yes.
Michael Soloway.
Yes.
Mark Greco.
Yes.
And Frank Castillo.
That is it stated, no.
Mr. Chairman, that is 19 in favor, 2 opposed, and 4 excused.
Thank you. Moving now to Resolution PS6 by Legislator Greco.
Mr. Chairman, I offer this resolution and I urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution designating the Oswego County Sheriff's Office as the lead agency for the Oswego County Terrorism Plan.
The urgency for this resolution is that there is grant money available. The grant date is dated tomorrow. We have to submit it. In order to submit it, we have to designate the lead agency for domestic terrorism. Obviously, we don't agree that that's the sheriff. The chairman and I discussed it in the letter. But we need to pass this resolution in order to move forward with that plan and with the grant money.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 21 in favor, 0 opposed, and 4 excused.
Thank you. Moving now to Resolution HS3T by Legislator Rio.
Mr. Chairman, I offer the following resolution urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing creation of 1 position in the Department of Social Services.
Contrary to Legislator Castiglia's assertion that this did not go through committee, this did go through committee and through F&P, and I believe it was approved unanimously at both.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 21 in favor, 0 opposed, and 4 excused.
Thank you. We move now to unfinished business. Legislator Castillo.
Mr. Chairman, fellow legislators, I have 2 issues on unfinished business. We're coming up on anniversaries of 2 incidents. The first one that I'm going to discuss is the silo, the added silo in Valmont. I'm going to read a letter that was sent to me August 25th, 2022. It says, "Hello Frank, your concern and continued attention to the issue of the burning corn silo in Valmont has caught my attention over the past weeks. Thank you for your perseverance regarding this matter. Depending on the wind, the smell has negatively impacted my family for nearly a year. I live on Foxwood Avenue. Both of my children and their children live in southwest area of Fulton. There is rarely a day in which one of our properties is not hit with a smell. 2 family members have asthma, and one has suffered from long-term COVID since spring of 2020. I worry about the negative impact the air in this area is having on their respiratory health. I have always spent a great deal of time outdoor working on my property or visiting my family. All too often, the stench ruins our outdoor time and forces us indoors. If this issue was affecting a more affluent community, I believe that local or state agencies would have taken immediate action to have the smoldering resolved rather than chance the public outcry from residents and financially politically clout. There's a long history of low-income areas suffering from environmental issues being ignored. I can only hope that in the future our residents won't be hearing that the health impact of this smoke will last a long lifetime. Thank you for your continue to speak on behalf of this. It's going to be a year in 2 months. And it has to stop. It's affecting, this is only one letter, I've gotten more, but we can't keep going on the way it is. It'll be, there's just people that it's affecting, people that it's not affecting, and I know that there's people on this legislative body that are in favor of stopping it. We just have to stand strong and we have to stop it. We have to put an end to it. Can't keep going on. It'll be a year in November.
If I may interject, sir, we are having an executive session today about Addison. You were informed of that. Now continue your second.
I'm reading from this, sir. I'm reading, what the issue is. Okay, it's been a year. Just because we're having an executive session doesn't mean it's going to stop, sir.
Your
All right, second issue. In November, it'll be a year that Jordan died. And we still haven't got any accountability on that. We've got a study going on. We keep adding different people to the DSS, which I think is good. But we have not had results from that study. We have not had anybody held accountable. And the accountability and responsibility are 2 peas in the same pod, and we have to hold somebody accountable somewhere at some point in time. And I wish it would be a lot sooner than the anniversary of his death. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other unfinished business? Moving to miscellaneous business. Thank you. At this point, just for clarity for the public that doesn't know, we are going to go and enter an executive session. Sadly, you're going to be asked to leave the room, and the county attorney will explain the why for that, but we won't be more than, I don't think, 5-10 minutes, and then you're more than welcome to come back in. And we will let you know. We'll have to close the doors, so we'll let you know, when it's time. But Mr. Mitchell.
The minutes should reflect an executive session in the matter of County of Oswego versus Ethanol Fulton LLC.
I make that motion.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Thank you. Legislator Kress.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, thank you. Seconded by Legislator Rehill. Our format is such that we adjourn our meetings and then we start our public comment period. So the meeting is officially adjourned, and now Legislator Evans. Thank you. Public comment period. Would Shauna Reddick please come forward? Thank you. Again, our format is such for fairness, it's 5 minutes. Thank you.
I hope during my time you see the problem and why Stacey Albert should resign. The resignation is way past due. She's failed families, claims we are focused on one tragedy. There are many, not just deaths. Deaths are the biggest problem. Oswego News, Albert said, in hindsight, paying more attention to the schools, paying more attention to why this had not gotten done, referring to medical, those things that I totally take responsibility for. She then says it starts with me. Meeting November of 19, just days after our case, discussed the possible expectations of the workers worried about not doing a good job, relaying that she can't keep up. Albert says if anything happens, she'll take responsibility and doesn't expect the workers to. We know that's not true. Pointing fingers and takes very little blame. Stacey spoke to Syracuse.com, was asked what went wrong by DSS, community blame. Blamed again when asked what needs to improve. Full community response. Blamed COVID. People were reporting during it. There's no article, no video where she's claimed for responsibility when she had the chance. Blames her workers, community, and little blame on herself. Albert was asked if she should continue in her job, saying, I'm not resigning and we don't run away. She is not from her job. She's running away from truth, accountability, and restitution. She talks of experiences. She's honored to work in the department with caseworkers. Not one good reason why she should stay on as commissioner. Feeling honored is not good enough. She's scared for her workers. She should be. They should serve time. Scared for the children. I beg to differ. She knows more than she lets on. CPS permanency report states, ordered that the Commissioner of Social Services has a discretion to trial discharge children and that she authorizes final discharges without further court hearings. She has to know cases to make those kinds of decisions. Meeting December of 19, thought a coincidence, but knowing better now, she mentions how the work is not cut out for everybody, and caseworkers' motives may not be in the right place. She knows her workers' motives are not always pure. She knows which kids should and should not be removed. She knows what child support does for the state and to those families of wrong removals. Losing their home, not affording food, heat, medical care. They aren't able to get any help from DSS. She doesn't care. She's more concerned with hiding hers and their mistakes instead of fixing them. She knows what happens in foster care and institutions like Elmcrest. She knows when services are provided unnecessarily. She knows when children are abused at my home. She knows several families who have and are messed over by the system and does nothing. The agency complains about caseloads and lack of foster care. They put a lot of unneeded responsibility on themselves. They need to shift their priorities. Albert alleges she cares about the kids. She'd fix her mistakes, work better at prevention, not trying to promote themselves as heroes and try to shift others' thoughts who don't feel that way. Before promoting CPS, how about Clean House? Be an agency we can trust. Help fix families you help destroy. Explain why it's okay for you to extort children for profit incentives and allowing your workers to harass and be spiteful against their clients. Most of all, apologize. Heroes are honest. They have integrity. Heroes don't encourage or let others and themselves commit crimes, and heroes set good examples. Heroes don't let children die. The only transparency she has given us is why she should not be a DSS commissioner. She is contributing and destroying this county. Do you really want to give her power to tear innocent families apart? Do you want her hurting people and traumatizing children? How many will die under her watch? She's racked up quite the number already. Look at the fatality reports. I can just imagine the list in Lewis County, her last county she led. Albert said, it's an honor and privilege to stand behind my caseworkers, knowing they lack an effort, are deceitful, and retaliates against those who are truthful and knowledgeable. Is she honored because they turned out just like her? There's no accountability for any DSS worker. Beats around the bush on questions and truth. Covers up mistakes and protect those who are in the wrong, not doing a thorough job, like their leader. Accountability starts at the top and goes down. Workers reflect the work ethic of their leader. We can clearly see how that's working out. It starts with her. Stacey Albert said it herself. Legislators should be held accountable if not taking further action. Don't support someone who is responsible for hurting children and families in a county we love.
Thank you. Would Stephanie Stone please come forward? Thank you. You have 5 minute.
Good evening, everyone. Back in July, Commissioner Albert asked for and was approved 4 management positions. The main purpose of these positions were to assure that state and federal requirements were being met for additional funding. With all that has been going on with Jordan's death and the death of Galaxy Cruise, I would think that the Commissioner's priority would be hiring additional staff to oversee cases to ensure that everything has been done according to procedure and policies and the law, and would also be implementing a plan for discipline when caseworkers fail to adhere to these guidelines. What is in place right now has not been working. She seems to have her priorities backwards. I've heard nothing from her on how she is going to improve her department. Since the death of Jordan Brooks, the Commissioner has been silent. All she has said is that they will try harder in the future and blames the pandemic for their failures. She has swept Jordan's death under the carpet, undoubtedly because she knows, like in Aaron Maxwell's case, there will be no repercussions for her or the caseworkers who failed him. I've searched for legal action that could be taken against CPS for their role in his death. However, I couldn't find anything that would stand up in a court of law and hold them accountable, which myself and the community believes they should be. So I'll ask all of you this question. When the results of the investigation are presented, and they state that CPS did not directly cause the death of Jordan, but points out their failures, are you willing to still have the Commissioner run this agency? Are you willing to have blood on your hands for letting her remain in her position? It's very clear by the information that has been made public that they didn't do their job. They did not protect these children. And I'm certain there are more children in our community